Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor, and today we are here with another 7.3 itemless path, and today we have 7.3.5 path C, which is the Paradox Knockdown Throw Special one with Quantum Safeguard on it. So this is actually the first one that I'm covering that has Paradox, so I guess I'll explain the way that works. And basically with Paradox, you just have to keep the charges based on what the node tells you to do. For example, on this path, you knock the opponent down to gain charge, and you throw your special attack to remove charges. So you just have to keep yourself between you have to keep yourself under 9, and if you reach 9, you receive a burst of damage. That's very significant. It's like most of your health. And today we're actually going to be going for a full ghost path. And we're just going to use Odin with Antman. Now, there is always on each path, there is a thing where you have to get at least 3 to do something. So sometimes it lowers your defensive ability accuracy. Sometimes the opponent's fully unblockable. Sometimes, in this case, you do 90% less damage. So in this node, you do 90% less damage than unless you and while this could be an issue sometimes, it's not really an issue for this path because Ghost just destroys it. It's so easy with Ghost. And yeah, there you go. So Torch already goes down. So the synergy with Antman means that for every buff I have, I gain plus 15% attack, which is why I'm using all those heavy attacks. Also, since Special 2 is 2 bars of power, that means that when you throw it, you lose 2 Paradox charges. So I want to make sure that I'm at 3 every single time before I throw it. But now that I'm at 4, I don't actually have to throw any heavy attacks until my special attack. I'm just not worried about it, and here I'm just trying to gain some buffs, so I'm going to throw the heavy attack. And also, on all of these paths, there's going to be an upside to Paradox, which is sometimes your buffs have more potency. Sometimes it's that I'm trying to think of an example. Your damaging debuffs are more potent, which is the case on 7.3.3 path F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Yes, path F, which is the case on that path. But for this one, it makes your debuffs longer. Which is, I'm not sure if it's all debuffs or it's just damage or just non-damaging, but yeah, you can see our stuns are like absurdly long, and the more charges we have, the more, or the longer it is. And here I'm just exiting the corner, waiting for it to end, and then he drops. So this is pretty much a straightforward ghost path. And if you do play perfectly, you can just solo this whole fight, or this whole path with Ghost. I actually end up not doing that. I end up dying with my Ghost in the middle of the path, and then I end up cleaning up the fights with my remaining champions. But I did get through it. And you can very clearly see all of the mistakes that I made. So, yeah. Also in this fight, I'm going to take the opportunity to heal up, just because it's just free healing here. We're trying to get as many buffs as we can, of course. Here we're at 4, so I'm going to go for a heavy attack on the corner here. No, maybe right here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to try to get Fury. We actually did get both the Fury and the Cruelty, which means throwing that heavy attack actually gave us plus 30% attack. And then right here, I'm milking that debuff I have on me, because as long as she has that passive miss, or passive miss, I don't really know what to call that, but it's just like the icon that indicates she's ready to miss is probably the best way to put it. You have a debuff on you, which when she evades you, you gain more debuffs, like you place more on the opponent, which is how invisible woman's attack scales. And then here she's just dead, so I wasn't too worried about that. But yeah, Ghost just absolutely destroys this path. It's a pretty simple path, honestly. Are there even any other nodes on here? If there are, they're like completely insignificant. So yeah, this is the fight I lose Ghost to. So in hindsight, Wasp would have probably just been a much smarter option if you're trying to do it itemless. But in this fight, I end up taking an L2 to the face, which just completely melts me. It's pretty crazy, honestly. But I do slightly misplay this fight as well. So yeah, there you go. I'm trying to get my buffs, so we get our buffs. And actually, the way that Diablo works, there I got a poison, so that was unfortunate. But I'm going to keep an L2 to the face, which is not generally the way you want to do things. So here I got that heavy attack off, and then I'm going to go for one more heavy attack, I thought. Oh no, I'm just going to go straight for an L2, which actually does a lot of damage. But it's going to almost get Diablo 2's L2, and then right here I think I'm going to just eat an L2 to the face, like right here. No. Here. So yeah, there. And then, yeah, I ate the burst damage and I dropped. So I'm going to clean up the rest of this quest with Wasp and Human Torch. Wasp is going to do Diablo and Mr. Fantastic. And then Human Torch is going to do someone. Who's the last enemy on this path? I don't really remember. But yeah, this is also a pretty good path for Wasp because you have such easy access to knockdown and heavy attacks. Just bait special attacks, you're pretty safe. I could have punched that. Oh, another node. The other node on here. So the first node, of course, is the one that indicates that you have to knock down to gain paradox. The second one is the one that tells you that you need to, or sorry, that you gain the extra debuff duration. Plus, it tells you you need to lose paradox by burn special attacks. And then the third node is the one where the damage is resisted 90%. And then the fourth one's actually Counterstrike, which is going to activate. It is going to happen in the... which fight does it happen in? It happens in... Sasquatch? I think it happens in the Sasquatch fight when I'm using Human Torch. But yeah, this is actually a pretty slow fight. But it just kind of shows off that Wasp can really do a lot. And here you just, the stun's so long that you can enter and you're completely safe. Now, if this were one of the nodes where both champion special attacks trigger paradox, then you might be in a little bit of trouble because, for example, right there, he would have put me to 8 paradox charges and I would have had to... or sorry, no, he would have put me down to 4, right? But there I throw my special 2 just because I know I need to get that permanent debuff on me, and then I'm going to try to bait a special 1 to get the debuffs, the taunt and staggered. And now I'm healing for quite a decent amount per second. And this fight's going to go down relatively fast. But here I realize my counterstrike is getting a little close. I could probably stick to baiting L1s. Here I believe I can go for 3. But yeah, Wasp just hits pretty hard, and she has guaranteed hits on her stuns. So on her heavy attack. And, yeah, it's a pretty simple path. Definitely do this fight with Ghost if your Ghost is alive. It'll be much better. And then there I actually get I get a shock. So I decide to throw my special beat. It actually does quite a lot of damage. It does 9% even with the weakness on it. So that's pretty nice. And here I have the 2 debuffs, and Wasp actually does more damage on her heavy attack than the debuff she has. So you'll see that crit did 19k, where normally it's not doing that much. And 10% left. Honestly, it wasn't even that long of a fight with Wasp. I'm pretty happy about it. I get to 9 charges, and I believe that he drops at 9. So yeah, pretty straightforward fight. And there we go, we finished with 98%. So that is Wasp's last fight, and now we're going to go on to the last fight of the path, which is a Human Torch fight against Sasquatch. I think I play this fight not perfectly. I think it's a little sloppy. But I just basically need to get my knockdowns at the start of the fight before he goes stun immune, which is not a big problem. I use my Human Torch pre-fight here because it's literally the only fight it can help me on. Oh, I remember how this fight goes. So we kind of, the stun actually becomes so long that I can do 2 full combos during the stun, which is is really nice. So we get our knockdowns there. Now we're doing damage. We get our Counterstrike for that parry. And there, the combos are actually so long, or sorry, the stuns are so long that I can do parry, medium, light, medium, and then do another medium, light, medium, which gets me 6 Nova Flames on the defender. And then here, he's just not throwing his special attack. He finally throws it. Took him a while. Rapid Tanlock triggers. And there, I threw a heavy attack trying to, I don't even know. That was just a mistake. But I threw my L3, and just because I want to get to my L2, ideally, for this fight. And yeah, this is not going well. Obviously, I massively manipulated this fight. But I'm somehow going to survive, and I'm actually going to win this fight with Torch, even though I definitely don't deserve to. Maybe I don't play as bad as I remember, because I remember not feeling great about this fight, but maybe it actually wasn't that bad, because it doesn't look that bad. He's just kind of melting. Obviously, you don't want to use Human Torch with suicides, but it's a fight, so I really just don't care. And then here, you need to knock down twice, because I want to throw my special 2, and that's going to remove 2 charges, which means I have to be at 5. And then here, trying to bait a special, he's not throwing it. So I'm just going to go medium, light, 2. It's going to do a lot of damage, medium, light, medium. Actually, he's going to go into rapid counteract, I think, in the middle of this stun. Maybe not, maybe just after he goes into it. And then there, that probably would have killed him if he threw that special attack, but he got a few more charges, so now he's alive. He's unblockable. And he's actually going to become unblockable again. I'm going to give him another full set of 10 while trying to save the fight. And then right here, I managed to bait a heavy attack and counter it, and he dies. So yeah, I guess it was just the end of that fight that was a little rough, but that was not bad. And now we will go into the boss, and of course, you know who we're taking. It's the same one we took last time, and it is a very easy fight. We were taking Juggernaut with Doom. It is the exact same fight as last time. The only difference is that this time I end up eating an L3 to the face, just to prove the point to you that Doom can, Doom's super tanky, and he can just do it, even no matter how bad you play. Of course, that was not actually the reason. The reason is because I messed up and got hit in the face when he was at 2.5 bars, which is why he got to 3. But yeah, it's still a decent fight. So of course, excuse me. Doom was not used on this path, and I'm just bringing him in now. He has no synergies as well. I usually use him with Mr. Fantastic and Diablo, but I'm not using him with any in this one. So we're gonna get to our L3 like normal, and then we throw that heavy attack, and he actually gains a regen buff from getting the 3 bars of power. And I do not know why. I think it's because I was nullifying so many power gains right here, but I actually end up not nullifying his regen. So I'm not really sure what was going on there, but I just wasn't nullifying it. And then I got to an L2 by accident when I was trying to get to an L1. And since he has that regen, he's fully unblockable. And I didn't realize he had the regen, so I was blocking to try to block the first hit and parry the second for an opening special attack. Obviously, it did not work out that way, but we did nullify his regen that time. So now I just need to get back to an L3, and the fight's pretty much over. But here I need him to not throw a special because I need to push him to 2 bars of power at the very minimum before I throw my L3, so that I get the full bonus from my power draining, or my power stealing. And you actually don't need to have the special 3 push to 3 bars of power, but you need to have the medium attack after push to 3 bars of power. That's what you really need. And then here I just went for an L2 because I figured, yeah, he's pretty much already dead. And he's gaining a lot of power right now, so I'm actually just going to power drain him and throw another L2, but he's dead. So, very poor fight with Doom. And it's 100% my fault. What I should have done is I should have just given up on the L3 cycle, baited that L2, and then just gone back to fighting normal. But that fight did go down, and the path, it's a relatively easy path. Honestly, I don't really have much to say to it. It's just Ghost Cheese and then use Torch for one fight. But you could definitely outdamage the regen on Sasquatch because of all the buffs you get on this path. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed that guide to Path C of 7.3.5. And at this point, I'm at 27 out of 36. When I recorded this, Path's done itemless. Now I'm actually at 31 out of 36 because I did a bunch more on stream. But yeah, that is going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed and have a great day.